BT, we're going to need an apology out of you.
For?
Francisco Lindor is playing like an MVP.
He is?
You said he was washed up.
Well,
Francisco Lindor is playing like, are you ready? He is playing like forget All-Star. He's playing like an MVP. Are you ready to apologize to the masses?
I mean, it took him long enough. All right, so, listen, I believe in accountability as well. I think if you have a show and you're not accountable, then you don't have a good show. You've got to be able to react to changes. When circumstances change, you got to react to them. So I want to be clear about that. And I've seen, by the way, you tweeted something. Like you couldn't just wait 5 minutes to start the show. I'm going to hold my partner accountable. He's going to apologize today. So let me just get this clear, Sal. Apologize for what? Like, that's a legitimate question because to me, the two things that I've said really from minute one going back to Tiki, because that's where it started. Yeah. About Lindor, number one.
Was this last summer before you and I together?
Before that
or even before last summer?
Before that one. Starting his first year when, by the way, he hit 230.
Okay.
Should I apologize for when he hit 230? Just checking.
No, we'll give you a pass on that one.
So my main gripe and my main criticisms with Lindor were, number one, he wasn't the player that he was in Cleveland, and the stats continue to bear that out, although he's been red hot, and I give him respect there. And number two, too often his stats were empty, meaning, crawls out of the chute, Mets lose a lot of games, he rallies late, he puts up some hollow numbers, and the Mets don't do anything, and on paper, in totality, the numbers look very good. So, I apologize for what?
Well, that has not been the case this year. You're right. And I was frustrated with him because I thought this was going to be his best year as a Met. And by the way, it's going to be his best year as a Met. The problem is it didn't get started until mid-May. So there is an issue there where he's a notorious late starter. However, you look at his last two seasons, in total, they've been really solid. This year is going to be the best of the bunch. And right now, they're not empty because the Mets are in it as far as the playoff spot goes.
Yep.
And he's driving in big runs, big hits. He's doing it with power. He's doing it from both sides of the plate. He plays every freaking day. He's playing Gold Glove defense. Like, he may not have been named in the All-Star team, which was a ridiculous snub yet again. He's going to win a Gold Glove. And he is on pace right now. Like, he's playing at an extremely high level where he is working his way. If he does this the rest of the way, and it's a big if, but if he does this the rest of the way, he's going to be in the MVP conversation.
Well, I got news for everybody. If this was the Lindor that showed up from day one,
right,
he'd be one of my favorite players. He actually, outside of Judge, he'd be probably my second favorite player in New York City. I think that there's a misperception. Like, when people hear my take on Lindor, or more specifically, because right now he's been great. Right. Let me be clear about that. He's been absolutely fantastic, and this is the player that I thought the Mets acquired from the Guardians at that point.
Right.
But if he was this player from day one, I think that it would be very different, and there would be nothing to apologize for because I would have been laying on the platitudes as thick as you can. But also, don't forget about this, Sal. So, If I'm going to apologize, which, by the way, spoiler, I'm not prepared to do yet. I'm not going to do that yet.
I got two more things for you, maybe get you to change your mind a little bit.
I figured there was more than the first thing that you fired. All good. He maybe should apologize because he started the season on opening day in the number 2 spot, and his batting average as a number 2 hitter so far this year is 0.94. Then they juggled him around. Well, let's maybe put him in the 3 spot, get him going there, and his batting average in the 3 hole is 235. So, I mean, there's a lot of things here. And the most recent sample, and it's not a little small sample, Lindor's been balling for a minute. Right. Like, he looks amazing. I mean, tap the brakes. He's still on pace for 86 RBIs, an OPS of under 800. And, oh, yeah, by the way, right now, today, while I respect what he's done the last month, big time, he's been great. Mm-hmm. He's got the 51st highest OPS in baseball. It's not Mark Vientos making $900,000. He's still a highly paid player who is expected to do this.
Right, but if you take out his slow start, and obviously he can't because that's part of it, what he's been doing the last month and a half is MVP-type stuff. And he's gotten the numbers to a point where they're respectable now, but where they were, I mean, think about how bad they were and to where they're at now. This is an incredible run. Now, if he continues this, the OPS is going to be over 800. Again, he plays Gold Glove defense. The batting average is right now at what most people would sign for 250. Not for him. He's a career 270 hitter. But the way he's going, he's going to get that up. He's also batting leadoff. He's going to drive in over 90 runs. He's going to steal 30 bases. He might hit, again, 30 home runs. My biggest issue with you, because I'm not going to disagree about his first year. I'm not going to disagree about his slow starts, especially this year because it was the third straight year where he had, forget his first year. I'm talking about after first year in New York, third straight year where he started slow. Like, even I was like, come on now. And I'm a Lindor backer.
Yep.
But the thought of him not being able to hit from the left side of the plate, talking about him being an exclusive right-handed hitter moving forward, or the thought of him being washed up, those are where I take the biggest issue.
Yeah, listen, did I ever use the words washed up? I know I talked about maybe he's got to become exclusively a right-handed hitter.
You may not have, but
I don't know if I used the words washed up, but I certainly implied that and not even implied. Like, there was never anything where people needed to interpret how I felt about Francisco Lindor. All I do, okay, is react to what I see. And, guys, for the first 230 at-bats this season, he was a 220 hitter. That's not me manipulating stats or taking something positive and obscuring it and illuminating something that's bad to fit my narrative. Like, I'm not one of these guys who says something and then just holds on for dear life to be proven right. I honestly have no problem saying, my bad, I was wrong, but let's not get it completely twisted. This is what he's paid to do, and let's see if he finishes up the season this way, because I got news for everybody again. The next 1 for 20 skid that he has, he's hitting 240 again. So that's the reality. And by the way, I'm going to take a little issue with our friends here at the station, and they're not alone, but like, the afternoon show, right?
Yeah.
And they're on the apology tour. You're looking for an apology. Yeah, with Lindor, right? Yeah. Like what was said about Lindor was factually incorrect. That's what I find not offensive. I don't take it that seriously.
Well, who are they looking for apologies from?
I don't know that they mentioned names. I'm not even saying that they were implying me, but if they were, which they may have been, because I don't know that anybody's been louder with the Lindor criticisms than me, and I'll own that because, I said it early. I stuck by it. I didn't see things change enough. They're changing now, but it's also year 4. Like, that's the crazy part here. It's not month 4. It's not like Jalen Brunson 2 months after the Knicks got him, and I'm sitting there saying, oh, Mike, if he played poorly, oh, what are you doing? I have given Lindor so much time to get off the tarmac, and he's off the tarmac, and his altitude is increasing by the day. But this notion, I forget Evan's exact words, whatever, like, Loogie, everybody apologize for what? Yeah. Apologize for what? He starts the season number 2. He's not good enough. They put him 3, mix it up. He goes to 3, not good enough. They put him first to shake things up. Like, you shouldn't have to move mountains for great players to do their job. So I do fully admit he's been awesome. He is exciting. He is bouncy. He is fluid. He's got pop. He's picking it at short. He's running the bags. He has energized the Mets, and he looks great. Now keep it up.
Do you think he will?
This feels as real as it's felt for him, in my opinion.
Agreed 1,000%.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards saying yes to that, by the way.
This is the first time. I thought this was going to be the year from the beginning that he was going to have finally, after the first year struggles in New York, 2 good years number-wise at the end of the year, this was going to be the year where he put it all together as a Met finally. And after April and May, or the beginning of May, even I had to jump off a little bit. And I'm with you on that. Like, for the people saying, apologize for ripping Lindor. No. Because there's a reason why people were criticizing Lindor. There's a reason why he's not an all-star. It's his own fault because he didn't get the year started the right way. So as much as he did get snubbed, and it's ridiculous 3 straight years, and he should be an all-star this year even more than the last couple of years, there's a reason why he's being criticized or was being criticized. So there's no need for an apology. But you did take it a step further. So I didn't hear what the afternoon guy said. I did see some tweets about it. If they were coming at you directly, do you have a statement for them specifically?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Listen,
like a kiss my ass or something like that?
No, well, I'd have to see for sure if it was about me. And even if it was about me, it's all good. I don't take that stuff too serious. Unless it gets serious, I don't take it too serious. I like those guys.
Yeah. I think come at me now.
Well, I think that they're off base with certain things. Like they think that I'm off base with certain things. That's the way of the world. It's all good. I don't judge.
But another
genuinely like him, but I don't know if it was about me, but I just like the narrative that if it was about me or for you or for others, and we'll get to these calls coming up, I'm sure I'm going to have to fend off a lot of Met fans, and that's fine. I'm here for it today. But this notion that I just created and concocted this story around Francisco Lindor, and it was so obscenely false and not representative of the player that he was. This is year 4. Again, this is not month 4. He's making $35 million a year, and he was a superstar when he came over from the guard. Now he looks like a superstar again. I will say that. I don't know that I said that in the first 8 minutes of the show. He looks like a superstar. But you know what I say to that? It's about time. 888-808-1019, BT and Sal, inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. All right, let's get to Spencer first up in Manhattan with BT and Sal on the fan. Spence, what's happening? Even his dog wants a piece of
What's up,
Jeez.
Spencer?
Spence, let's go, buddy. All right, Spencer. Yeah, you ready?
Hey, no, I'm here.
Let's go,
I'm
bud.
sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, first off, I just wanted to say I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener. I'm a Mets fan, and I'm also a season ticket holder. I love you guys. I mean, I'm a surgeon. I have a very stressful day. I use you guys to help me get through my day, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Call
These
you
guys,
out.
cutting people open. We're yelling about Lindor.
Yeah. No, I got to call you out on Lindor. I remember
Sal?
specifically. No, BT.
Oh, okay,
BT.
okay.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I remember because I was driving to work and I heard BT. Lindor's washed up. Not bat speed anymore. He used the term bat speed. He said he does not have the bat speed anymore.
That's true.
And
That's true.
That he's done.
No.
He's done.
Now hold on, Spence. I'm not hanging up on you. By the way, so to be clear, I remember specifically talking about bat speed because there was a statistic that I was privy to that actually measures it, that actually said his bat speed was not as quick as it used to be. So that I'll stand by that. Now maybe it's regenerated a bit, whatever. Maybe his pitch recognition is better, whatever. Did I actually use the words washed up?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I do remember hearing you saying that you thought you thought at that time he was done, that he just would not.
No, not done. Washed up.
I don't remember specifically.
I don't remember that, Spence.
You might have, but you definitely alluded to him being washed up or being done.
Well, I said that he should probably not hit from the left side, but I was reacting to the data based on his bat speed.
Well, I mean, but still, you said it, and that you definitely said. But I think you also alluded to him never being able to, or you thinking he would never be able to get to this level of play again. You let that marinate for a second.
Well, I just want to make sure that was said.
Yeah.
It may have been. Listen, it may have been. No, I'm not running from the fact that I absolutely doubted whether or not he could get back to this level because this is what he was in Cleveland, which is why I was so pumped when the Mets actually acquired him 4 years ago. I did doubt that he could get back to this point. So, but it was also about sustaining. I mean, I've always said, he's going to look like a stud for 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks, but the intermittent up and down intervals, he was too volatile. Like superstars aren't so hot and then so invisible, and it was frustrating. And that I'll certainly stand by, of course. Let me get Larry up in Westchester, BT and Sal on the fan. Larry, what's happening?
BT, Sal, how you guys doing?
Hey, bud.
Larry.
Listen, the last time I called, I don't know if you remember, Sal, I was burying Lindor just before he got hot, and the Mets were terrible. Even BT agreed with me. He said he would I said trade Lindor to the Dodgers. They're the only ones that can afford his contract, and they need a shortstop. I won't apologize for it, but I've been wrong so far. But the key is, let's see him continue to do it now and continue this run that we're on.
Yeah, I don't think people like yourself, Larry, and
Thanks,
thank you for the call. We appreciate you checking. I don't think, to your point, BT, like nobody was making this up. This was not an anti-Francisco Lindor thing. There was reason for the criticism, but I always felt what he did well. I was appreciative of it because I think he's a good ball player. He's a guy that wants to play every freaking day. I mean, the day his wife gave birth, he went to the stadium to make sure he got in there, be with his teammates.
And I gave him props for that. Even when he slammed his finger in the door in L.A., he missed only one game a couple of years ago on that West Coast trip. I've always respected his desire to suit up every day and strap it on. I do, and I always have.
Plays every day, and the numbers the last 2 seasons, while you can certainly say they were empty numbers, because to a large degree they were, but the numbers were still there. Now, was it Cleveland level? No. No, but the numbers were still there. At some point, Lindor needed to kick it into another gear with the Mets. I always felt it was going to be this year. This year started out as one of his worst in April and May.
He was 1 for 31.
Even worse than his first year here. That's how bad it was in April and May, where he was, as you said many times, the numbers showed it, one of the worst players in the sport.
Yes.
He has, however, turned it around, maybe not to the Aaron Judge degree after he had a slow April, but he has turned it around so much so that he should be now, if he continues this, he's going to be in the MVP conversation, certainly playing at an all-star level, and starting to, for the first time in a Mets uniform, resemble the player that he was with the Cleveland, then Indians, now Guardians. That's what we're seeing now. So there was legitimate reason to doubt Francisco Lindor. It's not hate. Met fans wanted to love him, but he's now doing what we expect.
Yeah, and by the way, like if he was acquired, say he was a prospect, right? A highly, like an Uber prospect, and he came here and, you know, he's a little slow to pop, and I could see then if maybe some would interpret criticisms being too harsh or too early, given the stage in which he was at, because baseball, you know, it generally takes a while to kind of get acclimated to that level. There's a reason why there's a lot of guys who are 4A players. They just can't cut it against, you know, big league pitching. That's not the case. Lindor, you know, came here in the absolute prime of his career with a ton of at-bats, postseason experience. Ask the Yankees about the postseason.
Right.
He took them deep. And he wasn't the guy that he was. He wasn't the guy that I watched play against the Yankees. And again, the data is irrefutable because he was 35 points higher on the average with the Guardians and almost 70 points higher with the OPS with the Guardians. And that includes this incredible run that he's on. So, you know, there's a little nuance here because it was never as simple as, honestly, it was never as simple, even though it may have been presented by some this way. Lindor's atrocious. Lindor's the best. Like, there was always nuance. I get it. The lineup around him hasn't been amazing. You know, he got off on the wrong foot with the Baez stuff and the thumb and the thumbs and the situation with Jeff McNeil. And then the flip side is, as Sal brings up, and he's right, he does play every day. He does have great energy. He wants to be here. I think he's a great teammate. He could run. He could pick it all around, 5-tool guy. No doubt. But at the end of the day, no sport is defined by statistics as much as baseball. They are irrefutable. And just, again, you want to comfort me today? Let's go. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. Understand this, though. Still has the 51st best OPS in baseball.
Oh, you can't help yourself. You got to give in.
But it's not the 17th, not the 25th, not there's 50 guys, 50 in baseball that have a better OPS. I'm just bringing some facts to the table amongst the energy. You know what I mean? All right, 888-808-1019, BT and Sal on the Fan. This guy's trying to complicate my world. Like, I don't have enough issues with the wretched Yankees. We'll get to them. Like, they lose again.
Carlos Rodon.
He's a bum. Yeah. He is a bum. But we'll get to them. Yeah. We'll get to them later.